Part 1. The Mask. Concealment. In 1850, a young, brash politician named Otto von Bismarck stood before the Prussian parliament. At that moment, the entire German Confederation was on the brink of war. The Prussians wanted to fight the Austrians. The king wanted war. The generals wanted war. The people were screaming for blood in the streets. Everyone knew Bismarck. He was a hawk. He was aggressive. He was a man who believed in iron and blood. Everyone expected him to stand up and give a thunderous speech calling for the immediate destruction of Austria. But when Bismarck rose to the podium, he did something that shocked the room into silence. He praised Austria. He spoke of them as brothers. He argued passionately for peace. He said it would be madness to fight a war over something so trivial. The liberals in the room, who had hated him for years, were confused. Had he changed? Had he softened? They began to see him as a moderate. They began to trust him. The king was confused, but he was grateful. He promoted Bismarck. He made him a premier cabinet minister. He gave him the keys to the kingdom. Bismarck used that power to quietly strengthen the king's position. He used that trust to build up the Prussian army in secret, modernizing their weapons and training their soldiers. And then, years later, when the trap was finally set, Bismarck turned around and declared war on Austria. Because his army was so prepared, and because the Austrians had been lulled into a false sense of security by his peaceful reputation, Prussia crushed them in just 7 weeks. It was one of the fastest, most decisive victories in military history. Bismarck had used Law 3, conceal your intentions. If he had announced his plan to destroy Austria in 1850, the liberals would have blocked him, the Austrians would have prepared, the other European powers would have intervened. By wearing the mask of peace, he bought himself the time to forge the sword of war. Welcome to Part 1, the strategy of power. Today, we are stripping away the polite fiction of society. We are looking at the foundation of all strategy, the art of silence and misdirection. We are covering Law 3, conceal your intentions, and Law 4, always say less than necessary. The disease of oversharing. We live in a culture that tells you to be an open book. We are told that authenticity is the highest virtue. We are told to speak our truth. We are told to share our feelings, our plans, and our dreams with everyone who will listen. Robert Greene argues that in the realm of power, this is suicide. Most people are open books not because they are virtuous, but because they are weak. They have no self-control. When they feel an emotion, they have to express it. When they have a plan, they have to brag about it to get validation. When they are angry, they have to yell to feel heard. They are essentially vomiting their inner life onto the table for everyone to see. And when you do this, you become predictable. In the game of power, predictability is death. If I know what you want, I can withhold it. If I know what you fear, I can use it against you. If I know your plan, I can set a trap 10 miles down the road. The powerful person is an enigma. They are a void. You look at them and you don't know if they are angry or happy. You don't know if they are planning to promote you or fire you. That uncertainty creates gravity. It forces you to revolve around them, trying to figure them out. Law 4, always say less than necessary. Let's look at the master of this, Louis XIV, the Sun King of France. Louis was the most powerful monarch in European history. His court at Versailles was a viper's nest of intrigue, gossip, and backstabbing. Everyone wanted something from the king. Every day, his ministers and courtiers would come to him with elaborate requests. They would give long, passionate speeches. They would use logic, emotion, and flattery to try and get him to agree to their plans. And while they spoke, Louis would just watch them. He wouldn't nod, he wouldn't frown, he wouldn't interrupt. He would sit in absolute terrifying silence. When the minister finally ran out of breath and stood there sweating, waiting for an answer, Louis would simply say, "I shall see." And then he would walk away. That was it. I shall see. This silence was a weapon. It destroyed the psychological balance of his ministers. They would leave the room analyzing every micro-expression. Why didn't he say yes? Is he angry? Did I talk too much? What does he know that I don't? By saying less than necessary, Louis kept the initiative. He forced others to reveal their hand while he kept his hidden. Consider the alternative. Have you ever been in a negotiation with someone who talks too much? They state their price, and then they keep talking. They explain why it's the price. They justify their costs. They tell you about their tight margins. They make a joke to break the tension.
Every extra word they say is a signal of insecurity. Every extra sentence gives you more information to use against them. By the time they stop talking, you know they are desperate. You know you can lowball them. Power is in the pause. If you want to be powerful, you must learn to be comfortable with the awkward silence. When you ask for a raise, state the number you want, and then shut your mouth. Do not justify it. Do not apologize for it. Look them in the eye and wait. The urge to fill that silence is your shadow trying to sabotage you. Kill it. Let the silence do the heavy lifting. The red herring. Now, a crucial distinction. Concealment is not the same thing as lying, and it is not the same thing as being secretive. If you are always silent, if you never say anything, people will become suspicious. They will think you are hiding something, which you are. They will put their guard up. The most effective way to hide your intentions is not to close up, but to talk endlessly about the wrong thing. This is called the red herring. In fox hunting, a red herring, a smelly fish, was dragged across the trail to distract the dogs from the scent of the fox. In power, you drag a fake goal across the trail to distract your opponents from your real goal. If you are planning a hostile takeover of a competitor, do not go silent. Instead, talk loudly about your interest in exploring into a new market in Asia. Send your executives to Tokyo. Commission studies on the Asian market. Let your competitor watch your left hand while your right hand holds the dagger. Bismarck didn't just stay silent about his war plans, he talked loudly about peace. He threw a red herring so large that the entire continent chased it. When you appear to be an open book about a fake topic, people lower their guard. They think, oh, he's just a chatterbox, he's harmless. That is exactly where you want them. Modern application, the office. How does this apply to your life tomorrow? Let's look at the modern workplace. It is a court, just like Versailles. There is always gossip. There is always someone complaining about the boss. There is always someone sharing their big idea for the new project. Do not join them. When a colleague comes to you and starts venting about the manager, your instinct is to join in. You want to bond. You want to say, yeah, he's such an idiot. I can't believe he did that. Stop. You have just handed that colleague a weapon. You have revealed your intention. You are unhappy. 6 months from now, if that colleague wants your job, they can use that comment to paint you as disloyal to the boss. Instead, wear the mask. Listen, nod, ask questions. Oh really? Why did he do that? Let them talk. Let them reveal their dissatisfaction. Gather the intelligence. But give nothing back. Say, that sounds frustrating. And then go back to work. You will be amazed at how this changes your reputation. People will start to see you as discreet. They will start to trust you with more secrets because they know you don't blab. You become the vault. And the person who holds the secrets holds the power. The homework, the 24-hour vow of silence. I want to give you a specific challenge for the next 24 hours. This is your initiation into the world of strategy. I want you to practice strategic silence. For one day, cut your word count by 50%. Stop explaining. When you do something, do not explain why you did it unless explicitly asked. Just do it. Stop fillers. When there is a lull in the conversation, do not jump in to save it. Watch the other person. See what they do to fill it. The 3-second rule. When someone asks you a question, count to 3 in your head before you answer. This does 2 things. It gives you time to think, and it makes your answer seem more weighted and authoritative. You will feel an intense pressure to speak. You will feel your ego screaming, say something smart, make them like you. Suppress that urge. Observe the results. Notice how people lean in when you finally speak. Notice how they start over-explaining themselves to you. Notice how much information you gather when you aren't busy broadcasting your own. Bismarck didn't unite Germany by shouting his plans from the rooftops. He did it by wearing a mask so perfect that no one saw the iron underneath until it was too late. The world is noisy. Be the quiet one. In the next part, we are going to look at the most dangerous relationship in your life. It is not your enemy. It is your master. We are going to learn why talent is dangerous, why outshining the boss is a fatal mistake, and how to navigate the fragile egos of those above you. I'll see you in part 2, The Sun.